Hey guys, let's jump in and see what wants to come through for today. Hope y'all are doing well. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, all the info is in the description box below. All right, we're getting started here. I have the worker. I enjoy getting in touch with who I am as an individual. Okay, so this is saying that you might be in a state where you're really focused on work right now. Okay, so this is saying that you have a clear understanding that I'm getting in touch with who I am as an individual. I'm beginning to pave my way. Maybe you're just starting a new career and maybe you just recently started it and now you're getting your footing and you're beginning to feel more comfortable and more confident in it. Okay, let's keep going, see what else this is. This may even be just, as a worker, that, just in life, you're just doing your due diligence here in life and knowing that, you value that. Okay. Maybe you're seeing value in the fact that just adulting itself is enough. And you're finding that, just as long as you're getting those day to day things done, you're feeling really good about it. Okay. So this is good because life can get really tough sometimes and it can be very burdensome. And sometimes even just getting the most basic things done, and responsibilities is hard enough work as it is. Okay. I have it is time to celebrate, cultivate an air of celebration today. Okay, again, this may be a sense of all work and no play. And so this is asking you to really take stock of the fact that, yes, you're a hard worker. Yes, you put a lot of time and energy into creating your world and maintaining it, whatever that may be with your responsibilities. You may have a family, you may have, you know, kids, you may have grandkids, and you may have, your friends or other obligations that you have that you're tending to. But this is saying just don't forget to actually have fun in it, okay? Don't make just that to-do list your only thing that you're focusing on every day. Okay, what you've got to do, what responsibilities you have. Make sure that you're taking time to kind of look up from that to-do list and really take stock of what's around you and actually take time to celebrate and enjoy it. Okay, not, there's time and a place for all the responsibilities, of course, but this is also telling you that, hey, you know what, maybe have a little bit of fun in it too. Okay, because you want to be a human being, not a human doing. Okay, I have cherishing and suppressing. Okay, so again, this is a little bit of a point in time where basically you might be, cherishing all of your life and everything, but maybe you're not exactly as present as you think. And so maybe you're suppressing your ability to really be present with the moment, really be present in life, and really enjoy it in the way that you really should. Okay, time, maybe it's just time to savor the flavor of life right now and just kind of ease up and maybe not take life so seriously. Okay, I get it. You have goals, you have responsibilities. I know that it's easier said than done, but basically, we can find that ability to just kind of be lighthearted. Maybe, you don't have to get, the house perfectly clean every single day after work. Maybe you've had a long day. Maybe you should just come home, and just relax a little bit. Maybe just veg and watch a movie and go easy on yourself for a little while. Or maybe, with the kids, not everything has to be so serious. You don't have to just come home, do homework, and go through the motions of the day. Maybe just take time to have a little bit of fun and say, you know what, we can do that later, or we can do the chores later, we can clean the house later, those dishes don't have to get done, or maybe I don't need to cook tonight, maybe we can just eat out. Whatever it is, you can find little ways to kind of breathe life into these moments into your world. It doesn't mean that you just have to neglect your responsibilities and you're like, yeah, cool, I was told to have fun, so I'm going to lighten up and do nothing. And maybe sometimes that is called for. Maybe there needs to be a weekend or a time that you take off where you do nothing. Okay, so maybe even in your time off, your vacations, you're just planning vacations, and then not only are you taking all that time to plan the vacation, but maybe you're also overseeing the whole vacation. So how is a vacation if you're responsible for everything? Maybe you need to have a staycation instead of just packing all the kids' bags, making sure you have all of your plane tickets, making sure everybody has their IDs and their passports and everything else. You got to have a hotel booked and you got, things you're going to do and you got to figure out where you're going to eat and all this stuff. You've got to plan. But that vacation kind of becomes just another to-do list and actually puts on way more to-dos than you probably anticipated. Okay, so that vacation may become not such a vacation for the person that has to actually plan it out and then execute it. Okay, so this might also be saying that, hey, take some time off or take that vacation, but maybe do a staycation. Maybe do a staycation that just doesn't need to be so involved. Maybe it just means, hey, we have a goal, we're going to go on a road trip or we're going to go camping. That's it. That's like the end of the plan. so that anything that you do that comes up unexpected is just a wild adventure, okay? And it allows it to be more freeing and more fun. So whatever this is that it's calling you to do, it's just saying find ways to weave in a little more fun into your day and into your experience here. I have the void. You may be covering up the emptiness or pain through an addiction. Okay. Earth shifts. You are very connected to Mother Earth, and as such, you experience all that she does. Okay, so this is telling me that you might be avoiding something here. Okay, there might be something deep down inside. Again, with this worker energy, I enjoy getting in touch with who I am as an individual. There's just something here in your realm that is kind of overtaking your experience. There is something here that is kind of basically blotting out all your fun, all your joy, and all your experience here. You're not really feeling as alive as maybe you hope you would and could, okay? Because you can't. You can feel alive. You can have joy in life. Okay, so this is the illusion that we get into sometimes because we get so used to being in survival mode. Okay, we get very taught right away to be in survival mode. You know, we go to school, we do our homework. You know, how do you go to school all day for hours and then you got to come home and do like 2 hours of homework 5 days a week? And then you get a weekend and that's all you get off? Or you have a report you've got to get done over that weekend, then you got chores to do at home as a kid, and then you grow up and you're like, yep, time to go to college. Then you go to college all day, and you got to go to college and work just to get, you know, your bills paid for your apartment that you're barely making by, and then you go into adulthood, and then you got more responsibilities. I got to keep that job, got to climb that corporate ladder, got to raise the kids, got to get them to school, make sure they do their homework and do their chores, and all this other stuff. But like, have we ever stopped to think, why do we do this? Why do we do this? Have you ever questioned why we do this? Why do you do this? Why do we keep doing this? Do we want to still do this? Is this what's happy and fulfilling to us? Is this what we call living? So I understand that there's a sense of responsibility here. I understand that we got bills to pay. We got to keep a roof over our head. I know what I'm saying here, okay? But, you know, hear me out when I say that you can recreate your life in a way that you find joyful. You just have to be willing to do it because where there is a will, there is a way. And so there might be something that a void that you're trying to fill that it says you're filling with some sort of addiction. Now, addictions come in all different forms, okay? You know, and that's okay. We all struggle with these things. We all have these moments in time. We all go dipping in and out of them, okay? You're just in a season of life where maybe things just aren't as fulfilling as you want them to be, and you're feeling a bit empty inside and maybe not as alive as you should be, okay? Maybe you're just not feeling it each day, okay? And you're really struggling each day to get out of bed and keep going through the motions. And so you might be just kind of, you know, feeding that with food or treats or, you know, alcohol, or, you know, maybe you're just kind of scrolling, you know, doing that doom scrolling on, you know, social media or whatever it is that you're doing. It's saying that you're avoiding the root of the real problem here. And I think I'm tapping into the root of the real problem here and saying that you just are seeking more joy and fulfillment in your life, but you don't really know how to get it because you're kind of buying into that conditioning that you've been brought up in, likely, that just says this is how life goes. We work and we come home, and that's as exciting as our life gets. But it's not. It's not. Okay. So this is saying dare to dream a little dream, dare to consider how you would like to change your life. Think right now for a moment. If you could do anything and money was not an issue, what would you be doing right now? How would you be spending your days? What they look like? What it look like for your family? Do you have to be doing all of the things that you're doing? Do your kids have to be in 1,000 different extracurricular sports that takes up your entire weekend? I don't really know. These are questions that may be evoking a little bit of thought within you of saying, what kind of life would I create if I could create any life at all? And see side to side what that looks like with your current life and how you're currently living it and how you're currently experiencing it now. And then I have a feeling you're going to find what that void is really quick. Jump into the tarot, see if I can get some more details on this, see if I can find anything else that might prove helpful to you. Let's take a look at the overall energy here. The overall energy here is the Six of Cups, okay? So there's a little bit of a fondness of memory here that's taking place where maybe you begin to daydream back to when you were a kid. And maybe you're just looking back on those moments and saying, man, I wish I could be a kid again. I wish I could be that free again, free of responsibilities, free of work, free of this and that, free of all this stress, okay? And no wonder you do. This may even be indicative of an energy where your main focus is on your kids. Maybe your main focus is on grandkids. Maybe your main focus is on your family here. Okay, let's dive a little further into this so I can get a better idea. Let's look at the recent past. You might have even had to make a lot of significant changes in your life lately. And now you're ruminating on the past a little bit. And maybe you're kind of ruminating a little too much in the past and those disappointments. And you're, longing for those old times, those old memories to still be in your present, but they're not. Okay. So this could also be indicative of that. Yeah. Here, I have the Three of Swords coming out here in the recent past. And this doesn't surprise me that this energy is coming out in your recent past and why you're ruminating a little bit on the past memories and stuff. Okay, you're ruminating on them, with a little bit of sadness, with a little bit of wishing that, longing for the days of old to be here. Maybe you're longing for a specific person or people to still be in those moments and creating that life with you. And maybe you're just a little bit disappointed in the fact that they're not. There was clearly something very heartbreaking for you here in the recent past that took place. And this is putting you in a little bit of a funk. Okay. And that's okay. So even though you're in a little bit of this funk, you can kind of get out of it. It's okay to have this season and honor that season. But again, begin to look at, not the past because there's nothing you can do about that. But what you can look at is what can I do here in the present to create a future that I will find joyful. Let's take a look at the present energy here. The present energy, I have the Star card coming out. So you are in a very deep, significant period of healing after a period of disappointment, loss, and heartbreak here, okay? So know that if you're wondering what's taking place right now, it's just honoring that period of time that you need to transition from the old into the new. And that can take any amount of time. There is no deadline here, okay? There is no deadline to healing. And honestly, we never get done healing. We're always kind of on this beautiful journey of, change and moving up, leveling up, and becoming greater, better, deeper, more fulfilled people. Okay, so we're always on this little bit of a journey that has trials and tribulations along the way, but in the end, we just go through seasons of joy. We go through seasons of abundance. We go through seasons of loss. We go through seasons of just kind of dormancy, right? So it sounds like you're in a little bit of a period of healing right now. Okay, so make sure that you're not delving too deep into the past here, because again, there's nothing you can do about it. Honor the emotions that you're feeling and allow them to come up so you can process them. But, go through your period of healing as well in releasing those things. Let's take a look at the near future here. And make sure you're not suppressing those feelings either, okay? So here I have this card with cherishing and suppressing. This might also be that you're going through a little bit of a loop of cherishing the past, ruminating on the past, and having those fond memories and wishing that they were still part of your present day and going into the future, and having a bit of disappointment. And you're kind of, swimming a little too long in that disappointment, okay? So here you might be suppressing the sadness that you're feeling for that particular loss, and you may not be going through this healing in a way that you probably should. Okay, so what you probably should do is allow yourself to feel all those feelings, honor those feelings for what they are. It's okay to have been hurt by the past, hurt by the people, hurt by the situations, and to even be longing for those people and those situations still, even if they did hurt you. Okay, it's okay to honor those. Just make sure that you're not stuffing them down and suppressing them in so that you don't have to feel the hurt and the pain of them at all. Make sure you purge them and get them out, or they will become very toxic and stuck in you. Okay, here in the near future, I have the Eight of Cups. And this is just saying there's going to be a beautiful energy of you moving forward, moving on, and going forward towards something that is a little more fulfilling to you, okay? This is saying that, despite the past, you're still going to continue to move forward because healing is taking place and it's moving you into a new experience, a new journey where you can then seek better fulfillment, and more joyful experiences again, where you can open yourself up to new opportunities, new relationships, new situations that will then come your way that you'll find a lot more fulfilling. Okay. So I know that you're on this beautiful journey of healing. You're on a journey of in the search of something better and something more after a series of heartbreak here in the past and loss. But you know what? You're moving in a really good direction. Okay. So just keep going, keep your head up and move through this season and know that it's only a season. Let's take a look at some advice for you. The advice for you I have is justice, and I have the Three of Wands. And this is just saying, again, sometimes when you're deep in these emotional states of being, of processing change and healing, it's wise to just kind of maybe get into the head a little bit, okay? To maybe say, hey, I feel this way and these things are happening and I'm sad, but I need to make sure that I'm also balancing the mind, okay? That in my mind, I'm logically knowing I'm going in the right direction. That even though things feel really hard right now, going through this time of transition, I know that I'm heading in the right direction. I know that the choices I'm making are are what's best for me right now. Okay. And so this is saying make sure that you continue to keep looking toward the future. Okay. Because it's like that saying, don't look back, you're not going that way. This is basically the advice here. Don't look back, you're not going that way. Okay. So honor the feelings, honor the grief, honor the release of that old, and move forward to the new and keep looking forward. Keep your eyes on the forward movement. Okay. Don't look back so that you can then regain a sense of stability in your mind, in your head, in your heart, and, realign yourself here. Okay. Let's take a look at what's hidden in case there's something that maybe you're not seeing that would prove helpful to you. What you're not seeing here is the Chariot. Okay. So what you're not seeing is that you are making progress. You are moving forward. Okay. You're making moves towards something better here. The Chariot is a card of, triumph and winning here, basically. But basically, this also takes, you also being a part of that. Your car's not just going to drive itself. It takes you getting inside of it, turning on the key, and having some sort of direction or at least a willingness to take a ride somewhere and being open to it, okay, in order for it to move forward. So what's hidden here is the opportunity to move forward into a place of victory and feeling good about where it is you're going and looking toward the future, okay? This is basically like, hey, you know what? Maybe just get in the car and drive and just have the experience along the way. See the people, see the restaurants, stop and eat some good food, go shopping, do whatever it is, and don't really have this hard destination of what you need to plan along the way. Just be willing to get in the car and go. Move forward. Open yourself to the adventure. Okay, so that's what's hidden here, an opportunity to open yourself to the adventure of moving forward into the unknown and into the new. Let's take a look at what you don't see coming in the coming weeks. What you don't see coming in the coming weeks is the Four of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles, okay? So this is just saying a couple of things here, okay? This can be indicative of the fact that here in the near future is that you're going to regain a sense of balance and stability in your life and in your world, okay? This is saying that, you're going to learn to kind of balance those emotions, balance the mind, and kind of get your footing again, okay? So even though things aren't exactly, set solidly, you're going to begin to feel a sense of stability inside when you regain that sense of balance after processing, this loss and going through this liminal space of this, kind of transitionary time that you're in here. Okay. But this can also be telling me that in the coming weeks, that if you don't change this and you keep kind of suppressing these things and not processing the past and allowing it to come to the surface so that it can be processed and purged and healed, is that you're going to get into a really stuck, imbalanced place. Okay. You're going to keep having one foot in the old, one foot in the new, one foot in the old, one foot in the new, and you're going to get really stuck and stagnant. You might get into a place where you're being a little bit stubborn here. Okay. But on the bottom of the deck here, I show the Nine of Cups. And this is telling me here, especially with the near future energy being the Eight of Cups, is that you are moving in the right direction. The only thing that can hold you back is you. It's the mindset that you have. Like I said, it's a willingness to get into the car and just be open for the ride. Are you going to stay stuck and stagnant and stewing in these energies? Or are you just going to open yourself up and say, you know what? Man, that sucks. That was really hard. I hope to never have to experience that again, although I most likely will, because that's just what life is about. But it's my willingness to move through it and try to experience that love, that joy again, that makes it worth it. I need to open myself up to even get in the car and go for the ride, because that is where your Nine of Cups is. Focus on your Nine of Cups. Focus on your wish fulfillment and a happy, joyful life, because you cannot change the past. There is no going back. You're now heading forward. So I hope that you found this reading to be helpful. And until I see you again, take care.